We're counting down the top 10 male Nintendo characters of all time. We did the top 10 women, we also did the bottom 5 women and the bottom 5 men. Links for those below. I love looking at and analyzing video game characters. It's a strange passion, I admit, but I love it. I do my absolute best to stay away from headcanon and stick to the facts. I'm not game theory here. If you're new here, this is a lot of what we do, so buckle up. Tell me if I'm way off base or if this is an L take. I want to hear about myself. Tell me. Trust me, you won't be the only one in the comments who think that I'm an idiot. When we talk about the characters, we talk about a little bit of the good and a little bit of the bad. So they can even be the best character of all of them, but we're still going to present both the good and the bad, the Solace and the Dread. It's a play on the name, I know. We had to work it in there. I'm Solace, this is Solace and Dread. We produce reaction videos as well as analytical content primarily focused around Nintendo, Square Enix, and Capcom publications. You can also find us live over on twitch.tv/Solace and Dread, or keep up with everything we're doing over on Twitter. Links for those down below. Ranking in at number 10, Ike from Fire Emblem. The Solace, this dude oozes enough raw anime sexual masculinity that he could impregnate a woman just by staring in her eyes. He loves food, he's blunt, and he avoids conflict when he can, but he will cut a bitch if he has to. He was raised through the trauma of the battlefield, and over the course of his games, he goes from naive mercenary to the radiant hero, literally, rejecting any of the corruptness and the power of royalty and politics. He's a bit of a legend in the world of Fire Emblem, and he wields a two-handed holy sword with one, because of course he fucking does. The Dread, he's boring. His noble knight trope is played out in video games, especially in Fire Emblem. He's a dime a dozen, but he's like a really shiny radiant dime. Ranking in at number 9, Demise from Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. The Solace. This dude delivers the coldest lines I've ever heard in a Zelda game. He tells Link to his face that they're standing in his grave, and the only question is how long he's gonna stay standing in it before he takes his life. And then to take solace in knowing that when he's done with you, everyone else he loves is next. That's cold, man. He's the overarching antagonist of Zelda, so if you like Ganon, by default, you like him. His design is truly terrifying. He towers over you and literally wields one of the game's main antagonists up to this point as a weapon, which, by the way, is bigger than you. The Dread, he's really only in one game, technically. There's not enough exposition on him, he's literally just bad guy juice. But like really cold, refreshing bad guy juice, because man, this dude is awesome. Ranking in at number 8, Luigi from the Mario series. The Solace, he's the better Mario brother. He's the funny one. He's always scared, but despite that, he does what he needs to do. That's real courage, when you're scared, but you handle your fucking business anyway. He has a lot more personality than people realize too, as is shown in the journal entries in Luigi's Mansion. He's got a better jump height, running speed, and fashion sense than his brother, and his solo games are great, especially Luigi's Mansion 3. The Dread, he's always second fiddle to that turtle murderer Mario, but he too murders his share of turtles, so he's not innocent. His constant fear of everything gets a little bit annoying though. Ranking in at number 7, Mallow from Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars. The Solace. If you're a longtime fan of Geno from Mario RPG, you're not gonna like what I have to say in a minute. Mallow is a better character than Geno, and it's not even close. Mallow is powerful and is a great early game for clearing mobs. His is a journey of discovery and growth. He has a full character arc, not like Geno, and has growth from basically the very start of the game. And he's the funniest one in the group besides Bowser. Mallow is awesome and he deserves all of the praise that Geno seems to get. The Dread, he's really only in one game. He was the second best character in that game and it just wasn't enough to rank him higher. That and, well, technically he's actually the worst of the 5 party members as far as combat goes, but he's still good, he's still usable. Ranking in at number 6, Kirby from the Kirby series, The Solace. This cute pink puffball of positivity and potentially limitless power is nearly perfect. He's the most relatable Nintendo character for me since I, too, have a terrible relationship with food. Despite being a child, he frequently helps to save his world, if not the universe, through the use of his unique powers. While he's actually genderless in Japan, he's given masculine pronouns and localizations. Fun fact, he was actually in part named after this guy, John Kirby, who defended Nintendo in a lawsuit from Universal suing for the use of the name Donkey Kong, claiming copyright infringement. Kirby's been through so much, and his virtuous approach and tenacity on doing the right thing without personal gain puts him on his spot on this list. The Dread? Kirby, being a perpetual greedy child, is the extent of his growth. He's a cute mascot character and has a range of emotions, but his lack of development is what keeps him from being at the top of this list. Ranking in at number 5, Fox McCloud from the Star Fox series, the Solace. Fox McCloud is really awesome and he's loved by the Nintendo community, but man, is there a disturbing amount of really weird Rule 34 about this guy. Why? Why are you making this? Why are you consuming this? Particularly in the furry art community. Anyway, this guy's a super competent leader and is fiercely protective of his friends, unless you decide to let them die. Oh no! I personally like to think of this dude's personality as similar to Luke Skywalker, except his dad is actually dead. There's a solidly fleshed out history for Star Fox, even more than I realized before doing research for this video. Motivated largely by a sense of justice, he's a fan favorite and one of Nintendo's strongest characters. The Dread. Fox can be a little bit one note, and he's rounded out by the cast around him. He's not higher in the list because without Slippy, Falco, and Peppy, he really wouldn't be that interesting. Ranking in at number 4, Pit from the Kid Icarus series, the Solace. This dude is the epitome of loyalty, as he's devoted to his deity Palutena, who happened to be number 4 in our list of women. And without her, he's actually flightless, paying homage to the game's namesake. Pit is naive, determined, and fearless, and will sacrifice himself if it means helping those he cares about. He's a force to be reckoned with on the battlefield too. He's entertaining as well. His banter with the rest of the cast in the games is always good, but he's not dependent on the supporting cast to be compelling. Kid Icarus Uprising needs to make its way to the Switch so more people can enjoy this amazing game. The Dread, his perpetually cheerful attitude gets a little bit annoying sometimes. I mean, read the room, dude. You're fighting the literal incarnation of the devil. Calm down. Ranking in at number 3, Shulk from Xenoblade Chronicles, the Solace. Shulk and the writing in Xenoblade Chronicles is proof that Nintendo can produce JRPGs at the same caliber as Final Fantasy. In fact, from a written perspective, I would put Shulk higher than most of the Final Fantasy protagonists. He's refreshing for a main character sortie. He's not the stereotypical tough or suave guy, he's actually a fucking nerd. I mean scientist, but nerd. He's also mature for the inexperienced MC. They build his world and make him likable in the beginning of his story, and then they build from there. He's flawed too, but like in a good way. When he gains the ability to peer into the future, it affects him in a realistic way. He doubts himself when he can't change shit. He gets angry and hard on himself when he's frustrated, and when he rages, boy, he rages. He's such an incredible character. The Dread? People seem to think that he's a little bit bland, and the humor and lighthearted side of the story relies on his supporting cast. Honestly though, there isn't a whole lot of bad things I can really say about him. Ranking in at number 2, Link from the Legend of Zelda series. Link, or rather the spirit of the hero, is the absolute symbol of courage. The blonde Master Sword wielding strong and silent type who saves Hyrule, rescues Princess Zelda, and holds the Triforce of Courage is well deserving of second place. His story is a delicious blooming onion, with each game adding a layer. His stoic silence easily pulls the player into the story, and according to Miyamoto, was why he was named, to connect people together, and well, to connect the Triforce pieces across time and space. He links a lot of things. He's a great representation of what we all could be. The Dread, I almost didn't add Link to the list, since he really only has dialogue implied and never experiences any character growth. That's also what kept him from being at the very top of the list, but it would have been fucking silly to make a best Nintendo character list and not include Link. And ranking in at number 1, and a surprise to absolutely no one, Bowser from the Super Mario series, the Solace, the other Turtle King. The magnificent Bowser is Nintendo's best character. He's changed over time from being a one-dimensional villain with the only motive of kidnapping the princess to having a surprising amount of character and depth, the most notable of which being in Super Mario RPG. He's funny, he's handsome, he's a strong leader, he's powerful, he's able to grow several stories tall, he's everything everyone wishes they could be. I swear, I am not biased. He's a little bit selfish, but good characters are written with flaws. That's why Mario isn't anywhere on this list. So if there was any Dread, it's really that he doesn't have his own game. He deserves it, and everybody would buy it. Bowser's inside story doesn't count. We still have to deal with the plumbers. And that's it. Which one of my people here needs to be replaced? The list can't be wrong. They're the best. It's science. Really though, if somebody else should have been here, please tell me. I'm dying to know. Soon we're going to be doing this for other things too, like the best birds and turtles and the best dads, including the best black video game characters of all time. That'll be coming in February. You know why. If you aren't subscribed, consider subscribing if you like the content. If you want to contribute to future lists, feel free to join our Discord, link below, or you can follow us over on Twitter, or you can talk to us live over on Twitch. Anyway, that's it from me. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon, and long live the Turtle Kingdom.